Welcome back to Your Story's Not Over. This is me again, Erin, and tonight I'm sitting here with my darling friend, Lindsay. Lindsay, tonight we're going to talk a little bit. Thank you for coming on, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about lessons learned through love. You know, we've talked a lot about lessons, life lessons, growing lessons, but we hadn't talked a whole lot about whenever you have a relationship that ends and it hurt and the lessons you learned through that. I want to start this conversation off by saying one thing I have definitely learned in life is the people that you love the most, you treat the best in life.
I agree with that to an extent.
Okay, why do you say to an extent, Lindsay?
Because you can love someone and you can treat them with the utmost respect. You really can. But it always has to be reciprocated. It has to be, they have to feel the same way.
I agree with that. I do. They have to feel the same way in order for the relationship. But, okay, for example, what if they don't feel that way because it's a hard time in the relationship or because they're having a hard time in life or a hard day? And you work with the public like little hairstylist me, where you are treating the world kind, and then you go home and because you're mad at your partner, or because your partner is mad at you, or because there's a hard time in the relationship, that's supposed to be your partner. So no matter how hard or how bad it is, you still, if that's your partner, that's the person you should treat better than the rest of the people. You should recognize that there is an issue there. And instead of going at it with anger, where you're not going to be heard, where you're not going to be seen, where you're going to be shut down immediately and get nowhere with anger, instead of that, you need to come at it with a kindness and a grace. You've got to be able to love all of them. They're human. Are you not a human?
Well, of course I am.
Do you?
Not a robot.
Well, I would agree with that. But can you sit here honestly and say that you as a human in a relationship going through a hard time, whether in the relationship, hard time, or outside, deserved anything less from your partner than love, grace, and kindness?
I don't think that I deserve less. I really don't.
Okay, so if that's the case, if you don't deserve less, then why would they deserve less?
Well,
Because they're not feeling it at the moment.
Well, they don't deserve less either. I mean, it's just, I've had hard days before and come home and, take out on whoever.
Mhm.
And
Sorry for the pause there if it seemed a little weird, everybody. Our battery was about to die, and we had to plug it in because we didn't want to die. So anyway, back to what we were talking about there, Lindsay. In a partnership and with somebody you care about, time is preciously spent. Time is preciously spent anywhere, but especially in a relationship. So you want to make sure that that time is full of memories. You want to make sure that time is full of laughter, that time is full of love, that time is well spent, so that you don't regret, because there is nothing more painful than becoming somebody's chaos instead of somebody's peace that you love, because that time was not spent growing and loving and understanding one another and becoming each other's best friend and staying each other's best friend.
you're supposed to be best friends throughout everything that you go through, hardship or not. You have to be a best friend to whoever you are dating at the point or married to, or you have to, everything has to fall in place. You have to be their best friend.
Absolutely. And so if you don't take time for each other, but still allow time for yourself to do healthy things so that you can learn and grow, that way you can learn the other person's interests. They can learn your interests. You can share interests together, see what you have in common, see what you have that is so much alike, or things that are similarly enjoyed but different, because throughout time, if that right there is not constant in a relationship, it will fail. Look at it like this. When you first meet somebody and y'all have that connection on a mutual bond, on a mutual ground, right? Something y'all are interested in, and y'all build from there. So if you spend your whole relationship, okay, we've enjoyed. Okay, now we're going to take care of kids. Okay, life get hectic. Okay, now this is happening. We'll eventually get back to that. And you don't take that time. Take that time for you and your partner. Take that time for yourself. And the hard thing is if you let life get too busy for you and the person that you want to be with, when you try to take time for yourself because you refuse to take time for them and to stay in that almost a dating but not dating mindset, then that person is going to feel like they have not been able to take time for them. Now you're taking time for yourself when you could be spending it with them, and that's going to cause a chaos.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I mean, that does cause chaos any way you look at it.
It does. So there's things we can do though. You've got to be proud of your partner. You've got to be proud of who you're with.
You do.
And I don't mean be proud of them because of the rest of the world. I mean be proud of them because they make you smile, because of the stupid stuff they do, because of the good they do, because of the side of them that only few people know. Kind of proud of them. Not proud of them because they make a lot of money. Not proud of them because the whole world likes them. Not proud of them. No, proud because of the way they love you.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've got to be proud of the person you're with, but at the end of the day, I mean, it has to be reciprocated.
It does.
It does.
It does, because staying is a choice.
Right.
Love is an action and staying is a choice. A lot of times people start assuming, and something I have learned through relationships is you can't assume anything.
No, you can't. But correct me if I'm wrong. Once you do wrong to someone, then you're going to sit back and go, wait, this person did it before.
Are they going to do it again?
Right.
That is normal. That is a normal thing. Absolutely. So here is how to stop that cycle. If somebody is really growing, if somebody is really changing and you see that, but you see something that it might need an extra push, a lot of times in relationships, we tend to make it worse because we want to push it to be the way we want it instead of stepping back and going, okay, I've seen a lot of growth. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to see where this goes without assuming, without acting or saying like I'm assuming. Why? Here's why I tell you that, because love is a risk. Love is a risk.
It is a risk.
You don't regret love, because love is a beautiful thing and there's so little of it out there. But love is a risk. You are going to get hurt. You are not ever going to be in a romance at all where a tear is not shed ever, where you do not feel pain, where you do not butt heads, where there is not chaos from family members, chaos from kids. The secret to it is staying steady with your partner, making sure that y'all work together.
So, like, mesh between you and your partner.
And you have to create it. It's not something, now, yeah, at the beginning it's that magnetic pull, but the longer you're with somebody, you have to create it, which backtrack to taking time for each other, showing love and grace, taking time for yourself, not allowing the world. If you're in control of your own world, then when you're allowing the world to get so chaotic that you can't enjoy the simple things like laying on the couch with the person you love, or going out and seeing the sunset or the stars, like even on your own house. Like, if you can't learn to enjoy, be satisfied, be grateful, and be happy in it, then you're going to be on a search for happiness, and the grass is not always greener on the other side.
That is the truest statement that I've ever heard. The grass is not as green as you think it is on the other side.
It's really not.
It's really not.
It's really not.
That is true.
That being said, though, if somebody really does love you, their love at the end is going to show. Who they are, their love for you is going to show. The fact that they don't want greener pasture, the fact that they want to stand by you in this storm, that's going to show. Because in a partnership, you don't leave someone you love, not like that. If it's pure love, it doesn't give up. It'll relearn, and it'll relearn how to love new, because as we age, until we die, we grow and have to continue learning each other.
I do agree with that. That, the longer you're with someone, the more it comes natural. You're just like, okay, I'm with this person, and, I do love this person, but then again, it's just a natural thing to be in your habitat and, just live life. You're not even thinking about each other.
Like a roommate scenario, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Eventually? That is true. That is true. That happens so much. That is why the divorce rate is so high. If you stop and think about all these couples that have been together 57 to 70 years and all this crazy, they got married out of high school. Now think of high schoolers and stop and think about this for a second. These people are old. They've been together since they're 15, 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me they did not walk through some major storms together.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, and a lot of heartache.
I'm sure they did.
But they made the choice to grow together. They made the choice to relearn each other. Actually, one of the most beautiful things I heard, Lindsay, ever was this lady. She was talking to me, and she was telling me about her great aunt and uncle and their 50th wedding anniversary, and they'd been married the longest in their family, like stuck through it the longest in their family. And she sat down with her and she asked her about it, and that woman told her, the secret to a happy marriage, the secret to a long-lasting marriage is don't ever assume you know the person you're married to, because otherwise they'll never be able to surprise you in life.
I do get that. Never assume. But then again, back to my point was that, if they've done you wrong in the past, that's just a hard thing.
It is. Somebody doing you wrong in the past is a hard thing. But honest to goodness, how many friendships growing, hell, let's go deeper than that. How many times did your parents who loved you, and so many other parents, how many times did I as a parent, my child, how many times do we mess up? Did we mess up? And not just a little mess up. We hurt our kids. Our parents hurt us bad.
Right.
Okay? But we love them.
Of course.
Okay, what about a sibling? A sibling, yeah. Yeah. What about, but even the siblings that are, apart and don't get along, they have a special love for each other, right? And when you have a partner, somebody you're giving your heart and soul to, do you see where I'm going with this? Like, that your partner, even the Bible says you are to break away from your mother and father and become one with your partner. And it even talks about when things get all messed up and when things happen, that you are supposed to reunite. It talks about that. Now,
right.
That being said, if you can forgive your parents, if you can love your parents, if you can understand, especially as we get older, your parents messed up, but you were able to still trust in them, then how could you not your partner? Now, if your partner is saying, I'm never going to hit you again, and then they hit you again and they show aggression, or if your partner is saying, I ain't going to cheat on you anymore, but they're sitting there on Facebook with 50 million women looking at them, There's a difference in being a complete and total blind dumbass. Sorry for my language, but for real. Versus allowing growth to happen and not holding the past. If somebody messes up, but they're not a serial cheater, then why would you hold that one mess up from them when they're not a serial cheater and they've never been caught in that kind of behavior?
And what if they have?
And that's where I'm telling you, if they are a serial cheater and it is somebody that has constantly done stuff like that, then no, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't. But if it is somebody that cheated once, maybe even twice in a long time span, then yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see my point? But how do you prevent that? How do you prevent that? One, you can't prevent
You
them
can't
from
prevent
cheating.
any of
No,
that.
you can't prevent them from cheating. But what you can do is you can keep that bond between each other so that there is no need for that. Because cheating is typically based on a need. Whatever that need is, it is based on that need. Sometimes it's not even a physical need, it's an emotional need. And instead of communicating with a partner and building with a partner, it's sometimes easier to just take the walk away path or, don't worry about them, they'll be at home path, or instead of actually doing something about it.
Honestly, that's just messed up. For people to even think like that.
Which way?
That, oh, they'll be all right.
But they do.
I mean, that's
They
what I'm
do.
saying. I mean, I
They
get that
do.
people do.
When you're in a relationship, you cannot be selfish. You can't. You can't. You can be selfish to the extent of loving yourself. We've talked about that before. You have to love yourself before you can love someone else. In that sense, you can be selfish. When you're in a relationship, respect falls under so many things, but it's even okay, my partner's going to be home at this time. I have this much time to do for myself. I can go out to eat with a friend, or I can take a hike, or I can do these things, but at night I need to be with my partner. Now that's not an every night thing. That's a 99.9% of the night thing.
Right.
There are occasions. More than that, you should let them know when you're leaving the freaking grocery store and on your way home, when you're leaving work. Not as a control thing, as a respect hey,
issue.
I'm on my way here. And so much gets so twisted in today's society. Like, so many old school respect values and morals have been taken out. So much social media has been in. And it's harder to have an actual relationship these days. And finding somebody that's willing to go the long road with you and that is willing to learn with you, and somebody that, by golly, is not willing to give up. That's a rarity these days.
That is very rare.
That's a rarity.
To have someone say, oh, I'm not going to give up on this person. This person's actually doing what they said.
So even more than that, somebody that does not give up on a relationship is somebody that does not give up on what they want.
It's true. It's true. But
you can't always have it. You don't always get what you want. You can't make somebody love you.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You absolutely can't.
You can't. We got about 30 seconds left here, folks. Lindsay, let's wrap this off. Everybody stay safe. Take care of yourself. Understand that it's your story. Nobody can tell you how to handle it, what to do. Good luck out there. We'll touch more on romance at another time. Remember, it's your story. It's not over yet, and you're still writing it. Have a beautiful day, you beautiful people.
Bye.